Welcome back to my live event. Firstly, I want to use this opportunity to thank every single one of my guests who have dedicated their time, the opportunity to be a part of the podcast show. Also, I want to thank every single listeners who have spent their time to dedicate their time to listen to every single episode of my podcast show, to learn from every single guest in one way or the other. I want to use this opportunity to honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for the time. Thank you for listening and the opportunity. I also want to use this opportunity to encourage every single person that are out there to check out the School of Heritage. The School of Heritage is featured with hundreds of guests that will impact every single one's life. I am not the one speaking, the guests are the ones speaking, and they are there to show you the way, to speak to you in a positive way, to also encourage you no matter the difficulties that we find ourselves today. I'll be talking about four episodes today that I published this week, last week rather, and also I'll be having the observation for the week and also other I think you guys need to know and you guys need to be impacted from. Last week and last recent months was been difficult, and also I've tried my best to be a person whereby I do everything I can to create a channel where I can reach out to more people who will listen to the podcast show and also be impacted with the guests I've had on the podcast show. My name is Temitope Adegoke, as you guys know, and I'm the podcast host of the podcast show named The School of Heritage. The School of Heritage covers a lot, and it always drives to the point where we call education, personal growth. How do I want to develop my life? How do I want to run through situations? How do I want to seek help? How do I want to do some certain things in life that deals with our sense of personality? Our personality is very, very important, both spiritual or personal. We both need this, both of them, to thrive in life, and the only way we can do it is to learn from other people, because by the time we listen to this one and this one and this one, we gain insight and will become more better and also more stronger as well. And that is why I have been in this position to bring this out for you guys to listen to and learn from these people, not from me, from the guests that have come to the podcast show to bring out the message and to make you guys to be impacted in one way or the other. The first episode I would like to talk about is from Mrs. Laura. Mrs. Laura is a woman that is into the aspects of yoga. And yoga is something that we do know that is very, very inspirational, and also something that actually gives the sense of another way we can actually heal and become more stronger and have the sense of joy and peace in our inner self. So Mrs. Laura really brought areas on how we can manage stress and how we can also try our best to manage big emotions, because emotions drives a lot of things in our life. And she really drive to the perspective whereby from the experience she's had as a yoga practitioner and other aspects that deals with burnout and other stuff like that, she brought out strategies. He gave the sense of necessary discussions that she believed that can help you become better and also can help you grow regarding the perspective and also the areas that you can become more stronger and also more better as well. Because when we are in a position whereby we feel the sense of burnout, we feel the sense of stress and all those stuff, we need to look for ways that works for us. We need to look for the perspective and things that we can also do for ourselves that can help us along the way. If this situation and also this perspective helps us along the way, then we can know how we can deal with it and also become more better. So these tiny things that we can do can really, really help us. We have a lot of discussion in 30 minutes that's really impact you. So if you want to learn more about the episode, you can check on my podcast show. You see the podcast episode there and you see the description and you can listen to it. It is just last in 30 minutes. You'll learn one or two things. I promise you guys that. Also, I want to talk about a very, very lovely, cool, and emotional man, Dr. John. Dr. John is a man who is into the perspective of physical, I think, yes, physical healing. He is a man who is one who is is a coach. Is one that does things that are more physical, that deals with the physical body. So it's more of the fitness area. You understand? So he's into those fitness perspective. And Dr. John, rather, Dr. John brought a lot of perspective when it comes to healing ourselves, most especially when it comes to injury, when it comes to us building our body, and also become more fit when it comes to fitness, and how we can also maintain those perspective that we built in our body. So it made us understand our role. It made us understand how recovery can be done. If you are facing any physical area when it comes to our fitness perspective, how can we be in a position whereby the recovery that we do have are recovery that are actually going to help us in the long way? And it really gave in the necessary details. We had a discussion in 25 minutes, and in those 25 minutes you will learn how you can actually help yourself to develop yourself in the role of recovery, and also become much stronger, and also build a sense whereby when you have recovered, you'll be in a position, you'll be more stronger enough to handle certain situations or similar situations that could come along the way in the coming future. So it is a very, very beautiful episode from a very, very lovely and very inspirational man. Very cool man. I have to be honest with you. Dr. John Joas is a very, very cool, a nice person that you will learn from. He is the one that spoke in those episodes, and you will actually learn one or two things from him. Also, I would like to drive to the point of courage to heal. Mr. Joe Taberlink is a man that is a CEO, and also found some very, very drug medicine companies that he really used to actually help our life and also make our life more better. He's a very, very charming and loving person. We have our meeting in 18 minutes. So it was a very short discussion. It was just a meeting in 18 minutes. But the discussion I have with Mr. Joe in 18 minutes, it actually bring out a lot of values that also goes with it. And that is why I encourage every single one of you to understand that trauma is real. Trauma is real, violence is real, pain is real. And when we are covered up by this kind of situations in life, we need people by our side sometimes. We need some stuff that we can use to actually help us. And that is why, if you hear the discussion in 18 minutes, I discussed with Mr. Joe, I said something. We are now starting to build bridges. We came about a world whereby we knew that we have to need, very, very important, we need community. We need to come together, give ourselves love, give ourselves companion, give ourselves support. Then something came out. Technology came out rapidly, and I mean rapidly. And when it came out, it became a source where people oppress. It became a source where people show themselves. It is became a source where people show the light. Nobody want to say they have situations. Nobody want to say they have situation or problem. And every single one of us have a situation or a problem we are facing in life. So the discussion I have with Mr. Joe is for us to continue to deal with the sense of violence, trauma, and how we can also start a new beginning, how we can also develop ourselves as well. In 18 minutes, you will learn this perspective, and also how we can also be a volunteer in our own role as humans to also develop our society, and use the social media that we have in the right way to actually use it in a sense whereby we are coming together, we're showing love, and we're not using it for manipulation. Also, I would like to dive to the point of the last person today. I would like to talk about grief. This woman really, she really touched my heart, Mrs. Sylvia. Mrs. Silva is a person who I really, really, really admire. I really admire this woman. Let me tell you why I admire Mrs. Silva. Mrs. Silva is a woman whereby she lost almost her entire family. Not in an accident, just one by one. She lost her dad when she was around 7 years old, lost her brother in an accident, lost her mentally. Out of six people in her family, they only remain two, her and her brother. Out of six, two. Can you believe how traumatic that will be? And as a person who also faced those situations, she didn't add it to herself, because I understand how pain is. I understand how grief is at times. But when it is continuously, whereby the father, the mother, the brother, it is not easy at all. And she actually brought the perspective on how we can actually handle grief. She's a person who has faced it seriously. And she also made a perspective whereby we can try our best to be in a position whereby we can build a sense of channel, because grief is something that if we do not build that sense of channel and giving that sense of positivity, that means we are giving ourselves the positivity, because we have to be around people. Also we have to try our best, because I do also understand that when we are facing grief, we find it very very difficult to come around with people, but we need to do that. We actually need to do that so that we can be in a position whereby the grief is actually being the nervous system starts to come back up and also motivate us. She also said something very beautiful: spending time to have the sense of remembrance, just sitting down and meditating, remembering those issues. Those things also help us, or it's also a journey to help us to heal, by the way. And we should always try our best, because to always be kind to people we meet around us. We do not know what every single one of us are passing through. Who knows that Mrs. Sylvia was a person who has lost so much person in her family and just remaining two. And she's a person who has actually spent the time to dedicate the time in 30 minutes to discuss this episode with me. So if you want to listen to this episode, it is a very, very inspirational and a beautiful episode that I think will really, really be impactful to every single one of you. Also, I want to plead with every single one of you to please, if you have any question, anything you would like to add up, or anything you think you can bring up for the podcast show, I am here to listen. I'm always there for every single one of you, and I would like to know more about every single one of you, and also see how we can move this forward. Observation for the week. In this week, I want to make every single people understand that sometimes it's always tough, and we have to always make tough decisions. I am in a country whereby there's a lot of issues. A lot of issues is when it comes to majority of the youth doing things that are unusual on the social media, insecurity. A lot of things are going on, and we that are doing something positive and great, because we have colleagues. I have colleagues who have built technology, who have done private and positive things to actually make the country more better. We find it's more difficult because of the community and the society we find ourselves. But how can we solve this? How can we be in a position whereby we are around many people who are actually doing the opposite? Is for us to continue to do the great work we are doing. When we continue to do the positive work and we continue to show the light around there, it brings the inspiration to others, so others to also understand that there is change. Change starts from one person. One person can bring a change to thousands and millions of people. And that is what we have to continue to do. When we can continue to do that, we are now creating the sense of channel in life. So, despite the place we find ourselves in life, despite the position, despite how difficult it is, despite the community we find ourselves, there is always a pathway. Even if we are the only one who is trying our best to do something positive, check around. There are also people around you that also love to do something positive and are also doing something great, and they are actually trying their best to become successful in the life they come for. Also, I want to use this opportunity to thank every single person for the time, the opportunity, for giving this dedication, this platform. Every single guest made this platform happen. I am just the middleman. I am just the one giving the question. And I thank God that He actually gave me the opportunity to do this in the life I've come myself till I pass on, because I will die one day till I die. So I want to thank you. Thank you very much. See you next Sunday. Have a wonderful day. Cheers.